So now we will have our first academic talk by the director of JPAR Center and KK, Professor Saito-san. He will be talking about, he will introduce us to the entire JPAR facility where they are all doing these experiments. And he will also talk about the material and life sciences based experimental facilities that they are planning to come, and several of them are also existing there. So it's a good opportunity to learn from him what is going on at JPAR, and then we can find that in which experiments we have interest and we can participate. So I would like to ask my students and also young researchers that they should feel free at the end of this talk to ask questions, queries, because this is the opportunity. If you want to learn something, know from him, just catch him. So I request Saito-san.
So once again, thank you very much for a nice introduction. So I'm really happy to be here, and I also feel honored to be invited by the Professor Sanji and also the director. And I'd like to describe the overview of the JPAR, and also as Sanji mentioned, that the material life science opportunity. And in the end, I'd like to come to the beyond G-6 strength. So here's the area view of the JPAR. Okay, it is close to sea, and whenever I give a talk abroad about this JPAR, there's always a question that the tsunami is okay or not. And believe it or not, at the occasion of the big disaster, big earthquake, already 6 years ago, this JPAR site was okay. So it's not the actually proof of the that this place is always safe, but I think it was really the biggest the earthquake happening in the once in 1,000 years. So for the next 1,000 years, we'll be safe. Okay, so let me describe the overview of the JPAR. So JPAR is actually the rather special facility, which is operated by the two organizations. One is KK, and as you may know, that the KK is for the high energy physics, and also a little about the material science and nuclear physics and so on. And another organization, the JAEA, is the Atomic Energy Agency in Japan. And those the two organizations come together to actually construct these entire facilities together, and then operating them all together. And we are exploring the origin of the matter in the universe by using this facility, as well as the actual diversity of the material life. Again, as the area view, we have a LINAC. Okay, so we have a LINAC here, and after LINAC, there's the synchrotron called rapid cyclosynchrotron. Every 40 milliseconds, we have a 3 GB beam down to this facility, or actually to this the larger machine. And then most of the beam is being utilized at this facility, called material life science facility. And the remaining beam is parallel up to 30 GB so far. For the fast extraction, we are aiming at the design power of the 0.7 megawatt. It is close to 1 megawatt anyway. And for the slow extraction down to the Hadron hole, we are expecting that it's going to be around 100 kilowatt. Okay. So this is the entire JPAR facility. And whole purpose of our research over there is related to this picture here, where we really came from, okay? And what are we, and also where do we go? Okay? So we are thinking about our history, and also the current status, and we should look for the future directions. Now, all of the history is actually written on this one page. So starting from the so-called Big Bang, or actually the inflation, our universe already spent like 15 million years. And then around a time of 3 minutes, most of the light nuclei started to emerge up to the helium and the lithium and so on. Because that 3 minutes can be actually, I have to learn how to use this more efficiently. And that 3 minutes can be compared to this 3 minutes. Whether this 3 minutes really the same or not is a very, very philosophical question. But after that, the whole universe has spent went through all of the developments like forming stars and forming the galaxies and the forming a solar system even. Then after that, the many life and material also started to emerge. Let's see. Okay, but we think that there are many remaining questions. We think by the discovery of the Higgs particle, the completion of the standard model actually was really realized. But actually, it was the really beginning of the new physics era, and we don't know the answers to those questions. Why we have 3 generations, and why there's a particle and anti-particle asymmetry is, which is expressed by the CP dimension, and why mass is becoming heavier every generation, like about 100 times. And what is the baryon number or lepton number, and the lepton flavor is even violated. And what is the dark matter and the dark energies and so on. So why our universe is matter dominant. So there are many questions answered even now. Okay. Therefore, we'd like to actually explore the reason of those many fascinating things happening in the universe. Let's see. We think that our matter, including our body, is a remnant of the 1/10 to the 9th of that symmetry. And probably already you learned that there's a symmetry between a particle and the particle in the beginning of the universe, and that's actually the origin of the all matters resides in the universe. But we'd like to find the origin of this, the 10 to the 9th of the symmetry, because the current theory can explain the only is missing actually a factor of the 10 to the 10th. 10 order of magnitude is behind. Okay. So we'd like to seek for the reason of extra CP violation, which could explain the matter dominant universe. So we'd like to see the CP violation and the further mixing relation. And we'd like to search for the CP violation because Kabibo provides a mascara matrix. Certainly, if there's any CP violation in the neutrino sector, it is beyond the CKM. And also, we are exploring the lower of the mu as a charge lift, which is also might be very specific too. And in addition, we are also exploring the role of the strong interaction like hadron physics. So we know that our stable world is actually constructed by the first generation only. However, at J-Park, we are creating a large number of the second generations to study the relationship between those 3 generations. That is the J-Park scheme, and which can be compared to the approach like a super KEK-B and also LHC-B, where they're producing a basically B-related lessons to actually explore also the generation relationship. And there's of course, good complementarity between the high energy frontier and what we call high intensity frontier. Okay. By using high energy frontier, like in the case of the Large Hadron Collider or future linear collider, we can explicitly search for the new particle beyond the current energy where we can achieve. And however, in the case of the high intensity frontier, ultra precision measurement can be done so that we may be able to find a hint for the new physics. Okay? So that really corresponds to the high luminosity lepton colliders like a supercube P, or high intensity proton driver like a JPARC or any other high intensity proton drivers. Now, of course, we should also look for the signals from the sky. So there's a relationship with astrophysics too. So these are the domain we are working as a JPARC in terms of the particle physics. But as I mentioned, there are many unanswered questions. Okay, here's the standard model of the particle physics. And here's a very complicated material like proteins and also lithium batteries and so on. But the question is why there's no antimatter. And the matter and antimatter are twin at the beginning of the universe, but we can only see around us the matter. And how the life emerged from on the Earth. And there's anthropology like the concept, the whole universe was made to create human beings. But this is really not the case. And we like to search for how the life emerged on the Earth and how the possible life, another life on the other planets or where maybe the universe too. And we would like to search for how the diversity of the matter and life emerged. And we are living in a very beautiful world, I think, and we'd like to find out the reason of those diversities and so on. However, when you compare these two pictures, the current and modern picture of our nature, compared to the ancient Greek philosophy, there's a similarity, because we are trying to explain the many complicated things from the very simplified pictures. However, another difference we could see here is that our view is very limited by what we can really see and feel and touch. Because here, sorry about the whole Chinese characters here, but this is fire, water, and the soil, and the air. They are interacting between by using love as an attractive force and hate as a repulsive force. Okay, so that means that our view at that time was really limited by what they can feel and the touch. However, it is clear that to elucidate the truth in the nature, we need better eyes to investigate more fine structure and more precisely with more sensitivity. That's where high power beam is really required. And we'd like to use the high power beams to find the next stage of our life. So that's why there are many attempts to create the high energy machines and high power machines, I would say. And here's the beam kinetic energy, and here's the current. So product is becoming power. So in this direction, high power. And of course, we have two machines here. That's a JPARC for the Material and Life Science Facility. That's a 3 GB machine. And a JPARC main ring for the particle and nuclear physics. That's a 30 GB machine. What's specific about the JPARC is that we have two 1 megawatt class machine to explore the high intensity frontier. So high intensity, of course, means within a very short time we can accumulate the high statistics. That means that we can come to the more precision, and we can do many rare searches, and we can also develop the more materials, which could certainly lead the new discovery. And here's the reality, and as a function of the so-called Japanese fiscal year, the red one corresponding to the 3 GB machine, and the blue one corresponding to the 30 GB machine, the main ring. And for 3 GB machine, we once went up to 1 megawatt, but for the user operation, actually, there was a struggle, and we are running at the 150 kilowatts so far, but we have a plan to go up to 1 megawatt soon. And for the 30 GB machine, we were almost running at the 450 kilowatt. And we are aiming to 750 kilowatt, and which we expect to happen within a couple of years. And furthermore, for the 30 GB machine, we have a plan to go beyond the 1 megawatt, so almost doubling the beam power. So the first goal is not only N, and we have a plan to go farther. So we will not stop. Okay. And there is a kind of a possible summary of the science of the J-Park, because we are really covering the many different places, different area of the science. So first of all, we are trying to elucidate the origin of matter in the universe by looking at the neutrino oscillation and the CP values of search. And then we are also studying the charge of lepton and the cold flavor for the CP values of search beyond the current understanding. And as I mentioned, the strong interaction studies is being done too. And then we are also exploring the origin of diversity in the matter and life. And the neutron as a really penetrating the light nuclei set probe, which can be utilized to study the energy materials like a battery, and also life in the soft matter like proteins and polymers and so on, and hard matter like the superconductors and also magnetism and so on. And we can also create a muon, and the muon behaves like a micromagnetic probe, so which is very also useful to find the various aspects of the matter and life. And which can be also utilized to do fundamental physics, which I'm going to actually focus towards the end of my talk this time. And I'd like to also mention that there's many industrial applications, and for the industrial use, actually the photon factory is actually a little bit ahead. This is something.